The All-NBA results are in. Did media disrespect LaMelo Ball again? Was he snubbed? We'll talk about it today. Locked On Hornets.
You are Locked On Hornets, your daily Charlotte Hornets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
In a minute, cuz we live.
Thanks for making Locked On Hornets your first listen. We are free and available anywhere you get your podcast, and that does include YouTube. There's Doug Branson, everyhornetsboxscore.com. Go check him out. Evan Hale, producing behind the scenes, making his first ever appearance as a co-host earlier last week. Either way, making his first appearance. Shout out to Evan Hale, helping us out always behind the scenes, and now sometimes in front of the scenes. I'm Walker Mehl. Listen to me, WFNZ, every weekday from 12 to 3 p.m. Sports Radio 92.7 FM. You ready to get to the LaMelo disrespect, the latest episode in the LaMelo disrespect saga, Doug Branson?
I was thinking about that as I typed in our little sidebar. If you've never watched this on YouTube, we have a little topic bar on the side here, and I was writing LaMelo snubbed ? And I thought to myself, one day I will stop writing the word snubbed. Like one day a Hornet is going to win a major award. And no disrespect to Musa and the Hustle Award, but I'm talking all NBA, MVP, all of these different things. Like one day the Hornets will win again, and I can stop writing the word snubbed.
By the way, I was just looking at where the word snub comes from. It's a great word. We've just used it a lot. Apparently AI, if you want to believe AI on this, the word snub traces back to the 14th century Old Norse word snubba. Feels like I said something bad, meaning to scold, rebuke, or chide. So that's what snub means, and then we can move on. Was he snubbed? Because we look at the results, and we see the guys that were just on the outside looking in. It was Denny Avdia, who was the 16th guy, if you will. He did not get an All-NBA nod. He had 26 total points. Karl Anthony Towns was the 17th guy with 14 total points, and then you keep going down all the way to LaMelo, where he had 5 total. So it's Denny Avdia, it's Karl Anthony Towns, Scotty Barnes had 9, and that was apparently the biggest snub of all, if you ask a lot of people in the know in the NBA. All of the nerds, all of the film analysts, everybody talking about it. James Harden was right behind Barnes, Şengün behind Harden, and there's LaMelo Ball with 5 All-NBA votes, tied, by the way, with Stephon Castle, who also received 5 total points. Was he snubbed, Doug Branson?
I don't think so. I mean, I think he, we have talked about he might have had a backdoor shot at it, but if this were all NBA for calendar year 2026, until the end of the season, then yes. But this was an entire season award. And I think other than, Barnes should have gotten some more votes. Maybe he was a better pick than Duren, because they don't have to do positions anymore. They just pick the 15 best players. So was Jamal Murray and Duren, were they part of the 15 best players over Scotty Barnes? I'm not sure. Denny Avdia, I'll let Trailblazers fans and Raptors fans be mad about that. Karl Anthony Towns, he's playing pretty well right now for New York as well. He didn't get it. So, maybe LaMelo deserved a few more votes, but this is my whole thing. Like, the Hornets have to win. They have to seriously win and get into the playoffs. That's your sort of jumping off point. Duren had been in a playoff series prior to this. Like, you have to get onto the dance floor before, people are willing to really put you into these discussions. So I hope that maybe he was snubbed, and I hope it's continued fuel on his fire, just like I hope it was for Khan and everyone else who's not receiving recognition. I know I say that every time, but that's kind of my only analysis until the Hornets actually win something.
Yeah, snubbed is strong, because then you have to say there's no way that Denny Avdia deserved the shot over him, or Karl Anthony Towns, or Scotty Barnes, whoever the player is that was listed ahead of him. So the other way to break this thing up is, okay, there were 5 guys ahead of him, which means in a theoretical world where there was 4 All-NBA teams, LaMelo would also have missed that. Because he was finishing just outside of the first 5 out, if you will, and he wouldn't have been a guard on 4th team All-NBA. So there's that to consider. You look at the guards that are listed ahead of him. It's James Harden. It's Avdi, as I mentioned. Okay, we could go back and forth on what you value more. I think the case for LaMelo is since the turn of the calendar, when LaMelo was on the floor, this team was one of the best teams in basketball with his starting five around him. The on-off numbers, that's the best part of the resume that you could point to say when LaMelo went to the bench, the offense was, it tanked. Now, Kobe White helped those numbers when he came. Some of that has to be baked in with the fact that they don't have a guard that you can trust, right? It was when LaMelo wasn't on the floor running the offense, then you had to rely on young Khan, but not really. They had to go to like Sion James. That was the guy that they were rolling to, who was a second-round rookie. And then once they got Kobe, the numbers got better. But even still, LaMelo on the floor made this an extremely dangerous basketball team with him being able to make any pass on the floor at any time and things just very, very generally running so much better with him out there on the court. So that's the case. I always think like taking into effect the other guys on the team gets a little wonky because I do think a lot of the on-off numbers were enhanced by the Hornets having not taken care of the backup point guard position for so long. When you have a star, which LaMelo is unquestionably a star, that goes to the bench and then you don't have anybody else, right? How many other teams had that big of a gap between LaMelo Ball, awesome orchestrator of an offense, and where you got to go to get to the next point guard on the, like, that's a monster gap that they got better in once they welcomed Kobe. Because that's the biggest argument. The three-point shooting was much better. You're considering what happened in 2025 as much as we look at what happened with the Hornets post-2026. All that to say, I'm okay with it. I have more thoughts, but I'll let you chime in here. What are some of the wrap-up thoughts that you have on LaMelo being snubbed or not?
I think that the team impact numbers, the like on-off stuff, is a good decider if you're in between two players and they both have similar numbers. But when you look at particularly LaMelo's efficiency numbers, when you look at them side by side with some of these other players, like he just didn't have it this year. He was a below average points per shot attempt guy. To me, like the path for LaMelo to get a third team All-NBA bid is sitting on the third team right now, and it's Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray is not a two-way player. He is a offense first player. LaMelo improved his defense this season, but I don't expect him to be in the sort of Jalen Johnson like kind of mold where like, oh no, you can depend on him to be above average on both ends of the floor. I just don't think he's going to get there defensively. So then what do you have to do offensively? You have to be a much more efficient player. Jamal Murray is sitting on the third team, probably should be second team, but you know, they let Luka back onto the team. They let Cade on the team. They made some exceptions for some guys. So Jamal Murray falls to the third team All-NBA. Go look at his efficiency numbers. They jumped off the charts this season on a winning team in the Western Conference. And he's been a great offensive player for a long time. He took it to an extreme other level. He was like, there are only a few guys better than him in terms of three-point accuracy and in terms of his offensive efficiency. Plus, you know, he was adding in a little bit more passing as well, a little bit more playmaking. So like all that stuff that was there for Jamal Murray. So if LaMelo wants a third team All-NBA award next season, I think he has to continue the efforts that he made defensively and maybe do it for an entire season, become more consistent on that end of the floor. But then also offensively, he just has to make better decisions with the basketball in terms of his own shot, really, because he's making fine decisions finding other players. But his own shot selection has to become a lot better. And I know this is sort of the weird thing with LaMelo because like, is that possible? Can you have a LaMelo Ball do the special LaMelo Ball things without taking the crazy shots? I don't know, but I don't think you can have that and an All-NBA version of LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, I think it's just really, to me, I put it very simply. I think percentages go up in a couple of areas, you're in. Because we saw the impact on winning. I think we saw what LaMelo did, even defensively. Charles Lee gave LaMelo the defensive MVP for the last month of the season. Internally, he got that award. I think really it's just, can we see 2-point percentages go up? Honestly, if you were to ask me, can we get just one category improving like a pretty decent amount? Not crazy dramatically, but a decent amount. 2-point field goal percentage. That thing goes up, that just automatically affects the overall field goal percentage and the way that everybody kind of calculates what's happening. Once you start to go to the basketball reference page, it looks a little more pretty than just having to rely on the three-point shot and being the orchestrator of the offense, which to me is extremely valuable, by the way.
Yeah.
Last thing for me. Anytime we talk about the LaMelo snub stuff, I got really mad at the media last year for the All-Star snub because of the fan voting overwhelmingly putting him in, and the response to that was so angry, almost like it was very different than what LaMelo was as a basketball player, where the fans are putting him in number one. The players, in my opinion, kind of got it right, putting him at like third or fourth, and media putting him at seventh, right? It was like this visceral reaction to the fans and the players putting him at first and or fourth. It's just refusing to give LaMelo any benefit of the doubt whatsoever compared to his peers, where it's like, no, oh my God, these guys, please, he's not even in the same realm. He's not even in the same category. Well, I don't think that's necessarily the case as much. You could argue, man, Avdia got like over 20 more points than did LaMelo. Sure, I think they could have been closer. I think because of the impact for LaMelo, I think because of the three-point shooting, which Avdia was just bad from the three-point line, I think that matters. We're talking about effect on winning, like where you get into the postseason picture of all of it. Portland wasn't playing in the postseason once we got to the top 8 spots. Okay, could get closer. Like, I'm here for that. What do I want to waste energy on? What do I want to waste some of my anger? What's worth it for me? Last year was worth it. Last year's like, okay, guys, come on. You guys are being absolutely bleeping ridiculous. I don't look at these results and think that everybody's being absolutely ridiculous.
No, look, they get to vote for first team, second team, third team. If there was another category called You Have My Attention, I think LaMelo Ball would have led that category because I think he has the national media's attention now. And now it's like, what are you going to do with that? Are you going to put on more strength? Are you going to hit more layups? Are you going to take some of those crazy three-point shots that miss and turn into transition opportunities for your team? Can you turn some of those into easy layups? Well, bango, you're third team All-NBA next season. And if the Hornets get to 50 wins, bango, you're third team. And you're the best player on the team, you're third team All-NBA.
House cleaning. Portland did get to the postseason. They just lost pretty quickly to San Antonio.
You barely
recognized it. I should give them that credit that they did get to the postseason, and hey, they deserve credit for that, man. I would have loved to have been in a 5-game series against the number 1 overall seed. So apologies to all the Trailblazers fans listening to our podcast. Coming up next on the Locked On Hornets podcast.
Bees everywhere!
Yaxel rumors. Is Doug going to give him a Yaxel Rose? We'll talk about it in just a moment. Second segment, LOH. Before we do, I want to tell you that this episode is brought to you by Rougiette. The NHL playoffs are here. All you Canes fans, looks like this might be the year, but I'm knocking on wood. You hear it. Okay. The NHL playoffs, they're here, where every shift matters, every moment is intense, and the pressure is at its highest. Again, with the Carolina Hurricanes just looking to break through to get to the Stanley Cup Finals. Hopefully they can do it. Fingers crossed. And just like performances matter on the ice, it matters off the ice too. That's where Rougiette comes in. Rougiette offers treatments designed to help you get ready and stay ready when it matters. Their top option, Rougiette Ready, combines clinically proven ingredients in a simple mint that dissolves under your tongue. It works fast, often in about 15 minutes, and can last up to 36 hours. And they also offer Go Long, designed to help with both performance and control. It's all about confidence and feeling like yourself again. Head to Rougiette.com/LockedOnNHL and get 15% off your ED treatment. That's RUGIET, Rougiette.com/LockedOnNHL for 15% off. Rougiette, performance medicine for men. More Locked On Hornets ahead. First, I want to tell you about the Everydayers Club. Go to LockedOnHornets.supercast.com. There you can sign up for just $5 a month, or you can sign up by saving 17% with the yearly option. You get access to an ad-free audio feed for LOH. You get an invite to the members-only Locked On Hornets group chat. That's in the Everydayer Club Discord server. Seems to be the most talked about benefit here when you're a part of the Everydayers Club. You get feature chats for national topics and all other Locked On shows. Go to LockedOnHornets.supercast.com. LockedOnHornets.supercast.com. Okay, we have some Yaxel rumors. I don't want to say reports. I'm glad that you put rumors here because I think that's just what they are at this moment. But we got some rumors, Doug. Quote, multiple sources have told Clutch Points that the Charlotte Hornets' interest in Yaxel Lendeborg is real, and they will explore ways to move up to either number 11 or number 12 to potentially draft him. You hear the rumors, you think what?
I think fantastic. I like Yaxel Lendeborg, and I think the Hornets, if they met with him and were assured that he is everything that Hornets DNA is all about, and that he is a little bit more mature than he showed in some of the press conferences during the last season for Michigan. If they get a good report from Dusty May, the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, that he is ready to be an NBA player and take on the responsibilities that come with that, then, that excites me, because I think Yaxel, there's so little that he does wrong on the floor that I think he would be just a perfect addition to what the Hornets are trying to do. He's big, he's physical, he can create. We're often putting Yaxel next to Merez Johnson Jr., his fellow forward at Michigan. But Merez doesn't give you that play creation. That's what the Hornets need that out of everyone. If you're not going to really solidify the backup guard position with someone that's pass first, then, and more score first like Kobe, then you need play creation at every other position. And so that's what Yaxel gives you. Plus, he's older. He knows what he's doing. He's plug and play. You can play him right away. Good 3-point percentage, although some people say when he's guarded, that tends to go down, he's got to be wide open. But you can say that with so many of these guys. So I hear that rumor and I say, bully. I love that. I love that idea. Obviously with the caveat, what do you have to give up? Am I comfortable with just doing 14 and 18 for 11? Because that's where it seems like Lendeborg is landing with Golden State at 11. Man, I don't know about that. If it came with some other player additions, if it was 18 and something else, I don't know. I'd have to see what it meant. But to give up 14 and 18 to move to 11, it's tough. It's tough for me to do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Even for Yaxel, I would not give up both of the picks. I don't think that it's enough of a move up to go get that guy and sacrifice having 2 bites at the apple to where I think you're still getting talented basketball players at both of those spots. Now, I get the idea of wanting to jump OKC and Miami to go get him. And I think that's the most tantalizing part of all of it, right? It would be all of these reasons as to why you would move up. It would be, one, because you believe in him. You're not going to trade up to go get a player that you don't believe in. So that's one. Number 2, it's to keep him away. It's to keep a player you believe in away from a squad that you're going to be playing 3, 4, possibly 5 times a year in the Miami Heat, because you just want them to die. The zombies that do exist in Miami, you just finally want them to die and stay dead. Not The Walking Dead, none of that. You just want them to die, and maybe you view Yaxel as some kind of antidote to the contrary. And you also want to keep OKC from getting Yaxel just a little bit. That doesn't affect you as much, where OKC is taking somebody there at 12 or Miami is there at 13. But it would be specifically Miami, right? Moving up 2 spots to go get the guy instead of the Heat, and also getting someone that you believe in who is a little older. Part of this, too, is me not giving my Yaxel Rose to Lendeborg. I do buy into the age stuff, man. That stuff, historically speaking, what you're hoping for is an outlier-like outcome. And to me, that's just not something that I want to bank on, where if you have an outlier-like outcome with a guy like Lendeborg, who you're hoping can come in right away and produce, okay, that would be the idea for a guy that's going to be 24 by the time that this upcoming season starts. You also not only have to have him help right away, if you get lucky and he hits, right, now you're talking about signing somebody to a second contract that would be 28 years old. And he is going to be making a decent chunk of change, being a lottery selection. And that would be something to me where, is that worth it, giving up the assets to go get that guy? Or is it more worth it to have 2 swings at a home run or a couple of double swings on cost-controlled contracts for other players that I think are really going to help you out there too in this deep of a draft class? That's why I would say no to packaging both of these picks to move up 2 spots to go get Lendeborg.
Yeah, for packaging both picks, I'm with you. And I was a little more in that camp before I started studying some of the other options they have at 14 and 18, and thinking like you, like that you can get. I'm a little more comfortable with getting close to a Yaxel. I particularly like the Steinbach kid.
I bet you do. A shooting big. I bet you do, Doug Branson.
A shooting big who can rebound the bleep out of the basketball.
Yeah,
I'm into that. It's got some, got some defensive issues. You have to figure that out. But yeah, can shoot the rip off the ball. Yeah, I'm good.
I'm with you. Yeah.
So, but I will say on the age stuff, like he kept getting better. Like I know he went back like 9 times, but he kept getting better. You know that to me, I worry about the age stuff when it's like a guy, at 21 becomes something and then stays an extra 2 seasons or whatever, however the ages work out, stays an extra couple of years and is the same guy that he was like 2 years prior. Like that's when I start to worry about that a little bit, but he kept getting better. So, I think Yaxel is going to be a fantastic player. You bring up an interesting point though with the Miami thing. So the only way you could talk me in to giving up the 14 and the 18 to move up to 11 is if you could guarantee me a Pittsburgh Steelers, Philadelphia Eagles, Malik Lemon situation where Pat Riley's on the phone with Yaxel. Yaxel, you're coming to Miami, kid. Oh, yeah. And it's like, hold everything. Yeah. The Hornets just jumped up to 11, and they're taking Yaxel. If you could guarantee me Pat Riley embarrassment tears, then I'm in. 14, 18, throw in the Dallas Mavericks pick. Always beat the Heat to the podium.
Especially with the added Philadelphia thing, the McKyleman situation where Pat Riley and Miami team media is filming this because they want to use it to help themselves. No. And what you hear is the Hornets trade up at number 12. Oh, yeah, that's what
exactly.
That's exactly.
No, it has to be on film. This is not a tree falling in the woods situation. I need to see Pat Riley go. Yeah.
It actually doesn't make a sound in this case if nobody is there to hear it. Okay, we need to be able to see this happen. Coming up next on the Locked On Hornets podcast.
Bees everywhere.
We have some mock trades to grade on the other side. I mean, it is straight up silly season, but there's a lot of content to choose from. It's a great part of the year. One more segment to go. Locked On Hornets. This episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. If you got a sweet tooth like I do, you know how tough it is to find that perfect treat without all the sugar. That's why the Fruity Rainbow 5 Hour Energy Shot brings that nostalgic flavor back in a whole new way. Fruity Rainbow 5 Hour Energy Shots treat your taste buds to an explosion of fruity flavor with a tasty caffeine kick. It's a quick, easy way to satisfy that sweet craving while keeping things simple and on the go. It's a zero sugar treat that's sweet tooth approved. I like how convenient it is as well. It's just small, it's portable, it's easy. You can grab it whenever you need a little pick-me-up, and it's become a go-to drink, a go-to shot for many people looking for that extra caffeine kick without all the sugar. Again, get candy-flavored chaos with Fruity Rainbow 5 Hour Energy Shots, available online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon. This episode is also brought to you by Game Time. Game time?
Game time.
There's nothing like playoff basketball live. The intensity, the crowd, the rivalries. It's a completely different experience when you're in the building. The NBA playoffs are where unforgettable moments happen. And being there in person, it just hits different. Game Time makes it incredibly easy to find tickets, even for those hard-to-get playoff games, in just a few taps. And with the Game Time guarantee, you know you're getting 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. Game Time makes it easy to find great seats in just a couple minutes. The seat view feature is a game changer too. You can actually see what your view will look like before you buy. And the zone deals are great. If you're just trying to save, you pick the section, Game Time picks the seat, and you still get a great deal. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDON, locked on, spelled out, again, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Thanks again to Game Time. More Locked On Hornets ahead. Okay, we're grading the trade. I imagine we're going to the Sam Vecini trade that was proposed. Is this the trade, or is there something else? Because there's a lot of mock trades out there, Doug. Which one do you want to start with first?
Oh, they're flying. They're flying around. It's silly season. But yes, I am referring to the trade that was proposed on Sam Viciini's podcast, Game Theory podcast. And it was not during the Hornets overview. They did a Phoenix Suns overview and had a trade here. The Hornets trading Miles Bridges, Ryan Kalkbrenner, or you could trade the 18th pick. They kind of gave it a little optionality there. And the Hornets receive Kaman Malawash and Grayson Allen in return. What do you think? Would you be in on that trade? I guess two versions of in or out. Are you in on the Ryan Kalkbrenner version, or are you in on the 18th pick version, or are you out on both of them?
I think I'm out on both of them. I watched this clip, Game Theory podcast, Sam Viciini and Motor City Hoops. They were batting this idea around, and I actually think they ended up on a pretty good spot. If you go watch it, it's a 3-minute long clip. Of course, it's on Hornets Reddit because they have everything. And when you're watching it, they're talking themselves into what would make sense for both the Hornets and Phoenix. And I think they landed in a pretty decent spot for a couple reasons. One, the Suns have been linked to Miles for each of the last 3 off seasons. I think Miles Turner is to the Hornets what Miles Bridges is to Suns fans right now, constantly in Suns rumors. Plus, we know Phoenix, they just so badly want to be the Hornets with every move they've made over the last 5 years. So that makes sense. Also, Grayson Allen. When Charles Lee was hired, one thing I went to when talking about the player development side to his coaching in Milwaukee was his work with Grayson Allen. So if Charles Lee had to get rid of a guy that they clearly respect in Miles, who this locker room clearly respects in Miles. They consider him not really even just a leader, almost the leader, the way they continue to talk about him.
Yeah.
If you were to get rid of that guy, right, just in this hypothetical world, then maybe what would make that palatable is bringing somebody like Grayson Allen back, whom Charles Lee very much respects, worked closely with during a high-stakes playoff run type of team in Milwaukee. I remember him talking a little bit about what they worked on with Grayson, not only three-point shooting, but being ready off of screens and also working on some of the driving tactics. I remember trying to apply that to some of the guards that were struggling driving and finishing at the rim here in Charlotte. The problem is you're talking about Grayson Allen making not a terrible contract at all, $18 million next year, $19.3 the year after. He's 30 years old. He's clearly a three-point shooting type of player still. That's the archetype. If you're going to trade Miles, we throw him in all these trades. There's reasons for it. It's one of the more tradable contracts. I think he could bring positive value back if you're looking to get out. All of that to say, Doug, if you're going to move on from Miles, to me, I think I want something a little more valuable than the Grayson Allen part to help you win now. And I think you have to be in on Malawash. If you're in, then this might make some sense. You and I weren't the highest on a guy like Malawash last year. And I think that probably is framing the way that we view this trade as well. Although I just gave my opinion, you haven't. What say you about these proposals?
Yeah, the timing of this trade, I think, would matter a lot. Like, if you did this deal now, I would hate it. I would just absolutely despise it because we don't really have a firm idea of what Malawash is and what he isn't. We know what Miles Bridges is, and he became a better version of what he is this season than he has been in the past couple of seasons. And you're right, they do look at him like a leader in that locker room. And if you need any evidence of what a locker room looks like without any player leadership, look at what just happened to the Cleveland Cavaliers against the New York Knicks. Like, you need leaders, you need people who can and will hold players accountable in the locker room. It doesn't matter what their performance is. It's got to be a player that young players can look up to. And until that player changes, until it becomes LaMelo Ball or Brandon Miller or Con Knipple, whoever it becomes, until that transfer happens, you better be careful before you move Miles Bridges. You better bring someone back that can fill that role, or you better be confident that Con can do it, or Brandon can do it, or LaMelo can do it.
Can I give you...
Well, go ahead.
Well, sorry, I did not mean to step over the dismount of your take, but there's a name that would be kind of interesting that would also match with the money, which is why Grayson Allen was thrown in here. Could I interest you in replacing a 4 with a 4 and Dylan Brooks? Is that maybe giving a little bit more? What would you want? Crazy man, LeBron villain Brooks on the Hornets roster.
Wait, sir, who are you replacing? Are you saying?
Just talking Miles for Dillon swap, and then whatever the trade is, right? Like or whatever the
if
draft
you go Dillon and
compensation would be.
Grayson like that, it's like, oh my god.
Well, and my point, I guess my point too, like I think Phoenix, clearly they found a lot of their identity in Dillon, being as good as he was. He was very good last year. So I only bring that kind of to joke and to think about him in the purple and teal. But the Grayson Allen stuff, you have, if you're going to trade Miles, and we've talked about this, right? Like that's a guy that we constantly gets brought up whether you like it or not. If you're going to trade him, to me, are you doing it for a guy that is probably going to come off of the bench and help with your three-point shooting when you're already so good at three-point shooting in the backcourt? Do you want another body that comes in, or do you want somebody that helps attack the rim a little bit more, puts more rim pressure up there, is a better defender that can also play in the front court, has some size to him a little bit more than Grayson? Like, to me, that's what I'm looking for if I'm trading Miles at all. And if not, then I think Miles makes you a better basketball team right now.
Yeah, but so going back to what I was saying, like the timing matters. Like if we bring up this discussion and Malawash is a little bit more seasoned offensively and the defensive upside becomes defensive reality for Phoenix, but it doesn't go to the level where he becomes untouchable. But they really like Malawash. But like if that happens and then we're getting, I don't really think towards the trade deadline, but if we're getting on the other side of the trade deadline towards the last chance that they have to do it before they lose him for nothing, well, okay, well, now that becomes a different conversation. But this deal right now, I'm with you. I don't think it makes a lot of sense because I think right now, strange for me to say this of all people, but I think there's value in continuity. For Con Kniffel, for Brandon Miller when he gets healthy, for LaMelo Ball, there is value. I wouldn't say this if they didn't win 44 games and play like the number one offense in the NBA for the year of for the second half of the season. But like all of that did happen, and it's worthy of giving it another look when you don't have to do anything with Miles Bridges right now. So yeah, I'm out on this deal.
Yeah, are you just right? Are you going with a rookie at the power forward spot if you make this deal? And I probably focused a little too much on the Allen part more so than the Malawash part. But Malawash, like, you're in this space where you can kind of go after it. And I'm not sure Malawash is getting the minutes now. Like, it's still kind of a win later move, and you're getting rid of the 18th or Kalkbrenner. I didn't love it. I understand landing on this type of trade, but I didn't love it.
You know why I'm really out on this deal?
Why is
because doing a deal with the Phoenix Suns and not coming away with like a free first round pick just doesn't seem right. Doesn't seem like, I've seen it too many times now, and it just doesn't seem like you got to come away with something that is absurd, makes no sense that you came away with.
Yeah.
When the Hornets are dealing with the Phoenix Suns, that's just what happens.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. That's the way to view this. That'll do it for Locked On Hornets. Thanks for making us your first listen. We're free and available anywhere you get your pods. That includes YouTube, Doug Branson, everyhornetsboxscore.com. Are you still playing chess and espousing basketball takes?
Yes, in fact, we're going to do a Sicko Satchel episode next week, and I've previewed the Satchel, and I know there's a chess question in there, so...
Love it.
If you haven't, by the way, join subtext.com/Locked On Hornets. Sign up for the free trial. Get your Sicko Satchel question there. The Everydayer Club too. I put something in the Discord chat. You can get your Satchel question there if you do have chess questions. I'm no genius, but I know a thing or two. I'll help you out there. So get those questions in. We'll do an episode next week.
Yeah, speaking of the Everydayers Club, like I'm up and running. That Grandma Mehl. I don't know how Discord works. I'm very old. We've joked about how Doug is
Discord,
like 5 years older
cord.
than me. Whose cord is it? Umbilical cord? What is this? You can I guess at me. I sound like I'm 80, but I think you can at me, Grandma Mehl, if you have a question there. I can try to get to. I do. Evan Hale, thanks to him helping us out behind the scenes. As always, I'm Walker Mehl. Listen to me, WFNZ, every weekday, 12 to 3 p.m. Sports Radio, 92.7 FM. Have a great rest of your day. We'll be back with you tomorrow.
See you.